Hey, my more brothers, back again. And today I'm just going to do a reaction to a video that somebody sent me because they added me and they kind of included some things that I've said on my videos in the past, 4 or 5 years. And uh, the brother here actually wanted to find out if um, what I was saying about the relationship between black men and women was actually true. Thus, you see the thumbnail are black women Klingons, right? Because the first iteration first story he's going to tell is about uh, an incident between a girl in class and a boy in class in one of his classes. He's actually a teacher. I don't know where he teaches at, but he's actually a classroom teacher. And he actually went to the girls to actually ask them certain questions about how they interact with males and what was their expectations of growing up and being a wife, well, a wife and mother and what have you, right? And some of this stuff is quite revealing. So we're going to get into this, and I'm going to react to it, and I think it'll be interesting. So here we go.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, Heavy Hooks, aka Dean Smith, aka Rodney Smith, here with another video. And in this video, we're going to be listening to audio of seventh grade girls talking about family and community. I think this is very interesting because we have to understand that whatever is affecting us as adults ends up affecting our youth, and you can hear this in this conversation. So let me go ahead and start playing it so that you can hear it. Here we go. All right, just say how old you are.
I'm 12 years old.
I'm 12 years old.
I'm 12 years old.
I'm 12.
All right, so I've heard what I heard from a couple of y'all today. I just want to confirm, because I've heard older black men say this, that black females will hit guys that they like. Can you confirm that for me, please?
And in other words, that's where the Klingon comes in. I've said that for the past, 30 years, I would say, at least. That's where I came up with the Klingon analogy from Star Trek: The Next Generation about the Klingon mating rituals and how they're physical, to say the least. And he's going to confirm this, because most people don't believe it, because I went through it. My son has gone through it, and my grandson has actually had an incident with that kind of incident where little girls that like him will physically assault him. So, continuing.
Yes.
It depends.
So that means that yes, then.
Yeah.
So while we were in class, a girl hit a guy, a black girl hit a black male, and I was like, yo, this gotta stop. And then I thought about something that I heard somebody say before, and he said that a part of black culture is one part of black culture is black females will hit the black males that they like. So after I told the female that she needs to keep her hands off of this young man because he had not hit her in any sort of way, I asked, I was like, is it true that you'll hit a male that you like? And she said yes. So when we started the podcast, I wanted to ask that question to confirm, and The majority of the black females agreed with this. So let's keep going.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, another question. Do you think that it's okay for females to have babies without a husband?
I think it's fine. Yes. Definitely.
No.
No? All right. So why do you say it's okay for females to have babies without husbands?
Because there's other like you can have a baby without having a
No,
man
I'm
to
not
do-
asking if it's possible. I'm asking is that good?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's
Oh,
fine.
and why is it good?
Because I think it's good because it's being an independent woman, and
Alright.
you're being strong without a man that is supposed to be supposedly strong.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's good because basically what Ariel said, but also because you don't always need a man for like everything that you do. Because sometimes they'll be like, you need a man to lift heavy stuff, but not really. You don't really need it.
Okay. And I'm gonna go to you last.
I think it's good because
Because you disagree.
kind of what both of them said, and also because like some stuff happens in people's lives and maybe the man's not there, or like maybe something like he couldn't be there, so the woman has to like take over. And if they're not married, then I mean, like, why should it stop her? Because like if she wants to have a child and she can have a child, then what's us to say that she can't, and why should we stop?
Which is why it's we've always promoted what I call a gynocracy, right? It's been preached into black women's heads since as far as back as I can remember. That as far as education and wealth and stuff like that, girls are usually promoted, and it's been that way since emancipation. Why are black women promoted over black males? Is because the life of a black male was always tenuous, and they didn't want to leave a woman and her children destitute. So they always poured more resources into black women and their children than into the black man. The black man, if you can get his, he had to get his out the mud. If he can actually succeed, then that's all well and good. We'll celebrate him if he makes it, but we don't expect him to make it. And they've never expected the black man to make it because as good as he could be, or as promising as he could be snuffed out by a white man or a white mob or the system easily. Could go to jail, be killed, could be disappeared. Okay. And so as far as the family and black women are concerned, that as far as a mate, as far as a father, as far as a helpmate for their children, okay, if you get one, that's fine. But thing is, you could not depend on it. So all the resources, even today, as you can hear it, are still poured into the female because according to the gynocracy, the black gynocracy, a family is a black woman and her children. The black man is always a resource to be tapped into if he's available. And this is what you're going to hear.
So here, unprompted, I'm asking the young ladies why they think it would be okay for a woman to have a baby without a husband. And they say because women are strong, independent women. Now, these are not grown women. These are 12-year-olds that have not listened to the talking points of the manosphere or have heard of Cynthia G or any of these adult talking points. But they are talking as if we're watching the Kevin Samuels show. It's blowing my mind that kids that have never watched these shows still have the same talking points of modern women saying that yes, it's good for women to have babies without husbands. So we'll continue. Last, I'm going to the young lady, the 12-year-old woman, the 12-year-old kid that disagreed. So it was one that disagreed, and I'm going to her last. And I want you to pay attention to what she says, because I go back and use that with these young ladies that said it was good. So let's continue. Okay. Now, why did you disagree? You said it's a bad thing for a woman to have a baby without a husband. Why?
I said no because where I grew up, my
Where'd you grow
family.
I grew up in Haiti. I'm a Christian,
In Haiti,
and
okay. All right.
for there, if you do not have a husband, you have kids, they will like treat you bad and talk about you like that, and they gonna tell you going to hell because why you have a husband, why you have a kid but not a husband? What's the point of having it if you're not gonna have nobody to like raise it with you? So that's why I disagree because they was gonna like treat you and tell you going to hell and stuff.
So so in Haiti, there's a culture of men and women getting married and then having a baby.
Yeah.
And then you are shunned and talked about if you have a baby without a husband, right?
Yeah, but you could get married at any age.
Okay. All right. So, let me ask you this. So, see how the young lady said, no, in Haiti, you supposed to get married. We're Christians. You get talked about if you have a baby without a husband. So I'm going to use this and go back around to the ladies who said it was a good thing. So here we go.
In other words, basically in Haiti, they have more of a family culture, traditional family culture, so that single mothers are shunned, and also because Haiti didn't go through the same kind of Jim Crow or slavery, not the exact kind of slavery that the United States went into, because the United States, they decided to actually force a matriarchy, force a gynocracy onto the black slaves. So even though they were both enslaved, they have a tradition that is similar. But the thing is, it wasn't the same. One, because the French are Catholic, okay, and they don't believe in that, whereas the Americans are Protestant capitalists. And plus, Haiti did not go through Jim Crow the same way that the black slaves did, because Haiti got their freedom very early, and they had more of a monoculture, more of a embedded traditional culture, whereas the slaves do not. Even through Jim Crow, a lot of these practices still existed. So, whereas the family or the nuclear family, even the extended family, existed in Haiti, it didn't exist the same way in the United States, which is very obvious. That's why there's a difference. That's why a single mother is shunned in Haitian culture, but accepted in American culture.
If we're going to build a community, if we're going to build a community, which is a collection of families, can you do that with a bunch of single mothers without husbands?
I don't think so. Because if you're building a family,
because a community is a collection of families, right?
Yeah, if you're building a family, like it can either be a single mom with 2 kids, that can be a family, and it can either be a mom, a dad, and
See, and saying a family could be a single mom and her kids. Okay, that was her first option, and then the or is secondary. As I said, I mean, this is part of our culture, part of who we are, but we don't recognize it. And women lie about it all the time. That's why you see the baby showers for single moms that are not married. They have. Yes, that's why the black community has more baby showers than bridal showers.
Notice how she said you can have a family with just a single mom.
kid, which can also be family. So I feel like it would be better for you to have a husband to become a part of that.
Oh, so now
community.
you're changing up your stance.
Well, I don't.
So remember, she said it's good to have this single parent mom. She said it's good, but then when she was talking, she said, "Nah, if we want to build strong families and communities, we actually need the mother and the father together to raise this child." So I'm asking her, "Hey, you want to backtrack now?" So let's see what she says.
No, it's like I'm in the middle of both.
You're in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you? Are you changing your stance?
No, I think you could probably build a community because there's a lot of
So
people.
we can build a strong community with just a bunch of single mothers.
Yes.
So what do we do with all the men? So again, I said, so we can build a community with just a bunch of single mothers, and she said yes. You agree too? Before I forget that what I added, do you still agree? Are you changing your stance?
I'm changing my stance because I feel like we could build a community. Like she said, we could build a community with
just single moms.
Notice the feel, and that's the female, right? I feel like, okay. But that's what they've seen. That's what they've been socialized to do, and this is long before there was a whole bunch of single family mothers. Okay, long before that. Um, there used to be shotgun weddings, but also single motherhood was also embraced. It was also they might wag their finger, but they weren't shunned. They never were.
Well, you said build a family, and I mean, like, not all
I said
families.
because of community. I said we're gonna build a community, and a community is a collection of families. So
But
can we really build a strong community with just single moms?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead. So what do we do with all the men then? That's the second part of the question.
What do we do out of men?
Yeah, because you said we're gonna build families and communities with just single moms.
Well, they're done for. I don't know.
The men are just done for.
Yeah, they can just go work. They can just
The
go.
men will work and just give all the single moms the money.
No, I mean like
They're done for. We don't care. Just yeah, basically, she really does mean they can go work and give all the single moms the money and be the beta males, the beta provider males, or the stepdaddies, right?
the men can go work for their own money. The single moms
And then
are
they'll work
independent
for their
women.
money.
Yeah.
Okay, because they independent women. What you think?
Yeah, I think the men should probably just like do what they want, and then maybe if a single mom needs a dad, then they can just.
you,
So remember,
you cannot make this shit up, can you? Okay, you cannot make this up. What did she just say? They can go work and make their own money, and then if a single mom needs a dad, right? Stepdaddy, right? That's how they're socialized. Remember, these are little girls. These are 12-year-olds. Okay, they're just entering puberty. They and this has already been indoctrinated into them. Can't make this stuff up. And you would think that they're just little girls that don't know any better, right? But you hear 40-year-old women saying the same thing. Because this has been a feature of the black community. Man, Du Bois saw this way back in the 1890s. Okay, so it's not new. It's not new. It is not new. Diane Stewart wrote a whole book on black women and black love. Right? She expresses some of the same sentiments. Okay, some of the same sentiments that a family is a black woman and her children. Right? Men are an addition to it. Sometimes a burden. That's where they look at us. Anyhow.
the question was, okay, so we're gonna build this community of just single moms. Well, what do we do with all the men? And they were like, I don't know, they done for it. We don't need the men. So I'm gonna ask another follow-up question. Okay, like, so what are men good for then? All right, so let's see how they react to this. Let's see.
Find one.
Okay. So then I got another question. Is so
I mean, like, not.
so what you're basically saying, the men are only good enough to produce the baby. After that, we discard them and we have a family and a community with just single moms. How is that? That's what you're saying. So
Okay.
because remember, you started off by saying, yes, it's good for these strong, independent women to just have these babies, and then we're gonna build a strong community with just single moms. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
so I said,
can't-
then
I'm
you're
not-
saying then the man is only good to produce the baby. They serve no other purpose, you're saying.
Yeah, I feel like they're just.
Yeah. See how she said, yeah, and as she's talking, the other two are thinking. They're like, I don't know, this don't sound right. And that's the whole point of this, is to get them to think about these things that they typically don't think about. Because they're getting these messages from the media, from their parents, from their cousins, from their friends, and nobody's asking them to actually, nobody's challenging those ideas, and that's all I'm here doing. So let's see how these young ladies continue to speak.
They have reasons to be in the family, but then
But you said they're not. That's why I said you must be saying we have no other value other than producing babies.
I mean, you can help take care of the baby, but then the women can do that by themselves because the women are independent.
Okay. And
So-
you're saying this is going to produce a strong community.
Mhm.
Okay. Again, and I said, so single moms all by themselves, this is going to produce a strong community. She says yes. Let's see what the other girls say. You don't see an issue with this either? This is good logical thinking.
Probably, yeah. I mean, the men have used doing some things, but
So I asked her, is this good logical thinking that we can build this community a strong community with just single moms, and she says yes, that sounds right.
Okay, I gotta let me. I just before we.
See, now it's blowing his mind, right? Because um, he didn't believe that it was part of the culture, right? Now he's doing his own research and his own testing, and he's finding out that exactly what we've been saying is true. And that's how you normally convert people. We don't, I mean, basically, we don't go out proselytizing and looking for people or recruiting men. Okay, they hear it, and most times, like most men, they don't believe it, and so they have to go find out for themselves. And once they find out for themselves, this is what happens. This is part of the table. When I say women come back to the table, this is part of the table, right? He didn't believe what I was saying. He had to go test it for himself. And once he did, guess what he found? We're not lying. In fact, it's worse than he thought. That's why it's blowing his mind. I can tell it's busting his noodle right now. So we're gonna finish this up, and I'm gonna give a few words, and we're gonna close this out.
We continue. Are y'all Christians? Are y'all parents Christians?
Now, the reason I'm asking them if they are Christian is because the lady from Haiti said she was Christian, and in the Christian faith, they don't teach that, you should have babies outside of marriage. So I'm asking them. So let's see how they respond.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I
What
think
about
my
yours?
Mom, yeah.
Yeah.
My mom was
So,
like,
so in the Christian religion, they preach we can have single parent homes, and that's going to help build a strong community. That's Christian life. Fornication, having babies out of wedlock, that's a part of the Christian faith?
No, not really.
Okay. So
now they recognize it. Nah, that's not what they say in church.
y'all don't want to backtrack yet? Doesn't sound like it's
Okay.
matching up with your values.
Okay, so I'm backtracking just a little bit.
Okay, good. I hope
So I still think that it's okay for the women to have a child, like if she's not married. But I feel like the man should be involved with the child's life because the child needs a father.
Okay, but we ain't talking about that. We're talking about, because remember the question is, should women intentionally do this? Would that be good? And y'all all
They
said
should not.
yes.
They should not intentionally have a child without the father
Okay.
or by themselves.
Do you agree with that? Or are you still sticking by it's good and okay for these women to do that?
I have some agreements with Amaya, and then I have some disagreements.
Good. What's the disagreement? Because I'm not arguing that a woman can't raise a child, doesn't have the ability. I'm asking, does that help build a strong family and community?
if a woman was to build a community by herself, and then
So can that happen? So are you suggesting we can have a community with just women and their kids?
well,
Is that a
I don't
community?
know if you're talking about is it like a Christian thing? Because
Okay, all right, that's enough. See, you can see by the way he's arguing, man. He's really arguing with people that are not really um, equipped to actually make this kind of argument, make this kind of debate, right? A debate back with him about these points, right? And he's using these little girls as proxy, okay, for what goes on in the black community, which is okay. But the thing is, you're getting to the root of how these girls are actually trained, and by doing that, you actually figuring out how the older black women were actually trained. And this is just a pattern, right? This is not something that's unintentional, not something that just happens by accident. It's actually okay to actually have women babies out of wedlock and get supported. I'm now just reading a black woman in Medium says that the black family, the black community shuns single mothers, and I said that's absolutely not true. And you can see that it don't, because you would see that within the framework of these little girls that are actually talking about it, right? Actually co-signing, except for the one girl whose community does shun single mothers, right? And she says absolutely not about having a baby outside of wedlock. Absolutely not. Otherwise, you will get shunned by your family and your community. So he's actually confirming everything that we've said, right? By testing it on not grown women that have been indoctrinated with feminism and so-called sexual encounters and sexual experiences, right? With men. We talk about these little girls have not even had dates yet. Okay. And two things: the violence that goes on inside of the black courting ritual with black men and women, because you just saw this with Travis. I think it's Travis Rudolph or Travis Rogers. I think it's Travis Rudolph, right? The football player, right? With him having a fight with his his girlfriend, right? And then doing proxy violence by sending her brothers and her friends over to his house, okay, to beat him up and possibly kill him, And that's what you see. You see this. This doesn't start at adulthood. This starts in childhood. Remember the story at the very beginning, where the little girl was hitting a little boy in class without provocation because she liked him, and then the rest of the girls thought it was okay to do this. They all thought it was yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we have done this before. What I'm saying is these are seeds that have been indoctrinated into the little black females, and then uh, as they grow up, it's allowed as adults. Remember the I think it was Stevenson thought that whose uh, uh, his female subscribers are saying that black women should teach their boys not to hit little girls back, not just hit them, not hit them back. And it was okay for little girls that are emotional to actually hit a black woman. Even today, even with Travis, right? He was saying he didn't hit his girlfriend back, even though she was punching him, is because he has been taught not to hit women back, just get out of the relationship, right? That's what they're taught. But guess what happened? The violence didn't stop, and we've co-signed this kind of violence and co-signed these kind of behaviors where, until recently, until the last, I say, 10 years, black women are actually leading the planet on out of wedlock birth rates because it was co-signed and okayed by the black community. So that's the question on the table, and this is the ending question I will actually get to. Right? Are black women Klingons? Do they respond as Klingons? Do they act like Klingons? Do they act like something that I wouldn't say human, but something that's out of the norm of traditional human relationships? It's up to you. Let me know in the comments. With that, I'm out of here. Peace.